Sweet surrender as I love, serve, and remember.
A funny thing happened to me this morning. Actually, last night, I was working on my talk for this morning, doing pretty good until I started getting sleepy around 1 o'clock. So I said, okay, I'll get up at 5 and finish. Saved it, went to bed, woke up, got up at 2 minutes to 5, eagerly. Went to the computer, and I haven't found that talk yet. I mean, I spent an hour and 20 minutes looking for that talk. So, finally I said, well, you know, Dar, you're always talking about a friendly universe. So there has to be something good in this. Maybe there's something God wants you to say that you weren't about to say. I don't know. But be open. So that's what I'm doing this morning. I'm being very, very, very open. And it was really wonderful, you know, when I opened up to receive, I started taking notes. But you know, the universe and power within us talks so fast. It's really hard to get that stuff down. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, we're in a really, actually, it feels kind of adventurous right now. I bet you're feeling that way too. But it's going to be fun, okay? So I really probably have to check my notes a little bit more than normal, but all is well, okay? So, before I say anything else, I want us all to have a wonderful tribute to a very, very special person in my life and in the lives of many of us. Because we want to stand right now and honor the Right Reverend Dr. Lacey Atkinson. Yes, he has that doctorate in science of mind from the Emerson Institute. Congratulations, Reverend Dr. Lacey. Say it again. Say it again. Oh, I heard you now. Okay, so here we go. Ready? Have a seat, everybody. And buckle up. Some people see things as they are and ask why. I dream of things that never were and ask, why not? Aren't those beautiful words? Yeah. You know, since childhood, something I've noticed about myself is that certain words and phrases kind of resonate with me, even if I'm not really clear about what they mean. They hit something in me, and it tells me, pay attention to that. Pay attention to that. You'll see that again. So I plant those words, special words, into my memory, and I revisit them from time to time. And I just let them roll around in my thoughts. And over time, they return again and again and again until one day, I become clear that it's time to bring them to life. So back in 1968, I heard those words to a speech given by Senator Robert Kennedy. And I was truly moved in that moment. And not that long after that, the lyrics of The Impossible Dream song was already out, but I had never heard it before. They moved me as well. They moved me, and every time I read the lyrics to the words, to the song, every time I hear the song, I get chills all over my body. Because I know that there is something in that for me. And if it's something in that for me, I know it's something in that for every single one of us. But it would be another 20 years before those words became more than poetic language for me. It was when I became serious about studying the science of mind that the significance of these words really deepened in me. I call it spiritual deepening. Because that's when I realized that not only is it my right to challenge the status quo, which is what these words were telling me, not only is it my right to challenge the status quo, it is my responsibility to do it. And you know what? It's not just mine. It's all of us. What that meant for me was that it's time to make things better. It's time to take things, maybe not even just to the next level. What about a quantum leap? I don't have to settle for linear movement. I don't have to go from A to B to C to D. I can go from A to Z and beyond whatever is beyond Z. Because of what lives and moves and has its being in me. That's mine. That's mine. And it was given to me to use. Not to just talk about it, to use, to apply it. What's that Ernest Holmes used to say? Inspiration without application is hallucination. So we're supposed to be using it. And of course, that journey of transformation, it had to begin with me. I couldn't go out there and tell the world what the world should be doing as long as Dar still had some work to do. And I did. So the first thing I realized is that I had to look at some of my conditioned thoughts. And I think Reverend Cheryl brought that up during our wrap-up yesterday. It's something I talk about a lot. Let me tell you what a conditioned thought is. Conditioned thoughts are the patterns of thinking that we develop over time based on our experiences. Our experiences, our upbringing, and our environment. These are automatic beliefs or responses that shape how we see the world, often operating without us even knowing. We're just on autopilot with these ideas. That's what I just said. They are running our lives right now until we stop and pay attention to what's driving, to what aspect of me is driving in that moment. Thoughts like, illness just runs in my family, so there's absolutely nothing I can do about it. You ever heard that one before? How about, money is so hard to come by. There's never enough of it to go around. How about success means working really, really, really long hours. Makes everybody want to be successful, huh? And how about this one? Oh, I've heard this a lot. Love inevitably leads to disappointment. Wow. See, the challenge with conditioned thoughts is that they're so deeply ingrained in us that we absolutely rarely stop to question them. But when we do stop to question them, they are mind-blowing. I mean, just think of what I just said. Illness runs in my family, so there's nothing I can do about it. Conditioned thought. Well, I'm walking around saying that when the truth of me is perfect health that never leaves me. When the truth of me is radiant perfect health that is mine, that absolutely never goes anywhere because everybody got it. We can turn away from it, but when we turn back, what do we find? It's still here. Still here, just waiting, just doing that thing like this. When is she going to come back? When is she going to remember? When is she going to accept what has already been given to her? When is she going to break through that ceiling that she's placed over herself that says only this much and no more? Or that money thing. Money's so hard to come by. But we were given unlimited prosperity and abundance. It's ours. So if it's ours, it has to be here because this power and presence is omnipresent, right? So it has to be right where we are. So if it's mine, why am I struggling? See, that's one of those thoughts that you say, what? That's what I've been doing? Money. I can still hear my mother saying, money doesn't grow on trees, Dar. You know what I said? It can grow on my trees. You can. It can come right out of the ethers. I don't care. But I know that if I know that I always have enough of what I need in the moment that I need it, it must be here, no matter how it shows up. Success means working really, really, really long hours. Well, yesterday we talked a lot about frequency and aligning our frequency with the qualities that we are ready to experience right now. You think that takes really, 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 really long hours? Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And love inevitably leads to disappointment. You ever stop to think that maybe that's not love? Maybe that's the way we're using it. Maybe that's the way we're interpreting it. Because there's no higher vibration than love. So why am I expressing it down here? I could be expressing it up here and beyond, because this is infinity. There are no limits. My ceiling just went into the nothingness. Because there's nothing to limit us except our very own belief. So yeah, when we do stop and look at some of those conditioned thoughts, it is mind-blowing. Really? That's what I'm thinking? That's what I'm carrying? How could I be practicing this philosophy like this? How could I be limiting my experiences to this degree? So there have been a lot of areas in my life where I have had to make the call. Why not? Why can't it be the way I want it to be? I was giving free will, choice, free will, and dominion. And I can't have life the way I'm ready for it to be? What's that even about? So what is this impossible dream about? Listen to this. Or maybe I better drink some water first. It's kind of long. Embracing the impossible dream isn't just about aiming high. It's about going after the things everyone else thinks can't be done. It's that wild idea that sits outside the usual rules, the kind of dream that pushes you to imagine new possibilities. What if there's another way? Living this way means you have to make peace with not having all the answers and to be willing to take risk, trusting your gut and your passion to lead the way. It's about having the courage to believe that things can change. That's huge. Do I have the courage to believe that whatever this is in my life that I'm not liking very much can change? And it's just waiting for me to announce it, to declare it, to claim it. It's about having the courage, I read that, and that the world gets reshaped by people who aren't afraid to dream big and differently. Do you know what that's talking about? That's us. That's every single one of us. To have the courage to reshape this world in a better way. You know, for a long time, I have talked about the idea that this is our time. And it really is. And I'm talking about those of us who are studying philosophies like New Thought. Not limited to New Thought, but just philosophy similar to this. And what I'm saying is that there's a reason for what it is that we know. It needs to be used. It needs to be expressed. We've been given so much. But how much of it are we using? Just stop for a moment and look at your life. How much of this unlimited power and presence are we using right now? Actually, we're using all of it, but the question is, how are we using it? Yeah. So why do we need to challenge these limits and these impossibilities? Because we're here to grow. We're here to expand. our awareness, to recognize that even more is possible than we ever dreamed. Ever dreamed. We talked about a few of those things yesterday. You know, the things that were probably considered miracles back then that are just everyday commonplace right now. Flight, organ transplants, bionic limbs, wireless energy, artificial intelligence. It's all here. It's all here. And you know what? Most of it is commonplace today. Things I can still remember. I can still remember the day that I was working at one of the offices in San Jose, and my boss called me in and he said, "Dar, can you send a fax to whatever this company was?" And I said, "What?" He said, "A fax." And I said, "What is that?" And he said, and he described what a fax was. And as he was describing it, I was becoming more and more annoyed. I said, "Do you know how busy I am? And you called me in here to tell me about some fairy tale fax thing?" That's what it sounded like to me. I'd never heard of it. And now most people have them in their homes, right? Say it again. Okay, that's okay. This is what I'm talking about. See, what are we doing? We're expanding our awareness. We're expanding our consciousness, enabling things to be better and better and better and better. And like I said, we don't have to do it in a linear way. We can take that quantum leap. And our conditioning told us that that's the way things are. That's the way things have to be. It's always been that way. And who are you to think that you can change it? Anybody ever hear anything like that? Okay, all right. So our conditioning, I like to think of it as the audacity of a dream. The audacity of believing that I can change whatever this is to whatever it is that I'm ready for it to be. In fact, I'm not even really changing the thing. I'm changing my idea. And knowing that whatever it is that I'm ready to experience has to be here, it has to be available to me. Why? Because I could not conceive of it were it not. Total impossibility. So that audacity that's coming through us right now, that audacity is it, you can change this. You don't have to be here. You don't have to stay here. So life is just waiting for us to apply what we say we know. I think that's God saying, "That's a good point, Dar." Saying, "You got that one right, Dar." So we want to start and end with the same thing when we're ready to make a change. And what it is that we want to start with is the truth. The truth. I went through a period with all my clients, and I know they got really sick of it, but on almost every summary that I wrote, it started with, "Ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." How many in this room have ever used that phrase? Okay. How many in this room believe it? Okay. And that's the key. What happens is, once we know the truth, we'll realize that we were never bound to begin with. Once we know the truth, we know that there is nothing that can hold us back, because there's nothing greater than it is. Once we know the truth, we'll know that there are no exceptions to it. Not even me and what I'm going through. And sometimes we feel that way, don't we? We feel like, oh, Reverend Dar, she's making good sense, but if she only knew what I'm going through right now. We start with the truth, and we end with the truth. That's where we stand throughout our declaration of whatever it is that we are claiming in our life. That impossible dream? Think about that. What is your impossible dream? What's your, because a lot of times, and I loved what Reverend Andrea was reading, when she talked about us, sometimes forcing those things down when they come up. Well, I don't want to think about that. There's nothing I can do about that. There's nothing that we can do nothing about. Nothing. So what's your impossible dream? That the doctor, that you can't be well because the doctor said you can't? But perfect health is what? Perfect health is what I dream of. Perfect health is what I desire. And in that you can hear the truth. Dr. Richard Green used to say, desire is the thing. No, that's Ernest Holmes. Ernest Holmes used to say, desire is the thing itself in its incipiency. What is incipiency? In its beginning stage. What you're feeling is something that's already in us. What is driving right now is something that already is living in us, waiting to come out into expression. So, what if I were to stand in the truth that with God, all things are possible? Now, that doesn't mean all things unless you have this disease. It means all things, no exceptions to truth. What about another impossible dream, that you can't be happy again ever in your life now that things have changed? I could just hear Reverend Cheryl right now yelling, RAS! See, but the thing is that joy is another quality of our divine essence. It's always here. It never leaves. It never forsakes us. It's here right now. So what if I were to take my attention and place it on joy rather than placing it on sorrow? What if I were to align my frequency with that joy? Would it judge and say, oh no, you were not happy yesterday, so you cannot be happy today? No, it doesn't work that way. This is our decision. What about an idea, an impossible dream that I can never seem to have enough? Why can't I have more? Why do I always have to struggle? Well, there is more if we're open to choose it. If we have the courage to choose it. Why would we need courage? Because nobody else is choosing it, so I'm going to just stand out, huh? Yeah. Because this is our time. I'm going to stand out because of what it is that we are teaching ourselves, what we are remembering. Thank you. About who we are. Something that is enabling us to say, you know what? If love, light, power, peace, beauty, joy, prosperity, freedom, health, wholeness, harmony, wisdom, creativity, success, and truth is a part of the package that every single one of us received, and that package is infinite, then why am I not using it? Why am I not expressing more of it? There's no limit on it. No dream. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care how far-fetched it seems. No dream is impossible. None. Every single one of our dreams. I want you to just right now, just close your eyes. And realign with that dream that you may have been pushing down for a while, thinking that it can't happen. But realign with it. And lift it up in your consciousness. Lift it up. It hasn't left. And as you lift it up, as you remember, that all of it is here now. And as Paul said, in the twinkling of an eye, it can be revealed to me right here and right now. There's no delay in this power and presence. So if we really and truly believe that with God, all things are possible, then what if we give ourselves permission right now to begin to entertain that dream with the truth? And the truth is that perfect health never leaves. The truth is that unlimited prosperity never leaves. The truth is joy never leaves. The truth is our power never leaves. Our peace never leaves. It's here now. It's here now. And regardless of any reason that we have for it not showing up in our lives, we can let that go. Because it cannot stand in the truth. Just can't. Well, it's time. It's time to use what we got. It's time to open to it and just let it flow. Thank you. I got it. It's time to open to it and let it flow. It said, wrap it up, Dar. Okay. So that's what we're doing now. No dream is impossible. Look at your dream right now and tell it, I know you're possible, I know you're available, because anything that is possible and available, anything that's possible has to be available right now. It has to be. Why? Because of omnipresence. It's all went in one place at one time. It's all happening at once, and we get to choose it. I know it's possible. I accept that possibility. I know that what's possible is available, and whatever is available becomes inevitable. Yeah. Don't you love that? So we are going to let it be so this morning, starting now. And so it is.
I walk in God in all